like I'm talking into a cat's butt.
We are talking into a cat's butt.
We are talking into cats' butts.
Yay! And this is What's with the Neighbors.
We are a true crime and paranormal podcast, and that is Amy.
And that is Bree. And we are here the second time around.
Yes. So, little story, guys. I talked about the Ouija board.
Dun, dun, dun.
Spoiler alert, my story's about the Ouija board, which I already posted on Facebook. And we don't know if it was a tech malfunction. Those of you that listen know we often have them. However, usually the malfunctions are with Amy's mic.
Yes.
And it shows that it got unplugged, which we recently fixed.
Right.
And this go around, my mic went out for my entire story.
And but her mic was on.
In the footage.
In the footage, her mic is on, and so we're like, well, what the heck?
Yeah, we're confused. So,
yeah.
You know, we are still learning, even at this is episode 40.
This is episode 40. I am so excited for myself because I get to stay up. No, I'm doing it tomorrow. I'm going to work on it all day tomorrow, and then this episode comes out
so
the next day.
It sucks.
We are pulling an M and Christine.
Yes.
Shout out to them.
Yes, we know we're not alone.
Yeah.
Even from the almost awesome podcast experts.
They still struggle.
Yes.
So that's it. Do you want to go first this week, or do you want me to go first?
I can go first since I already told everybody what it was about.
Okay. So I'll tell you a neighborhood story.
Do it.
Watch the cord.
Oh, okay.
So what one did I share? Did I?
Oh, hello.
Did I already?
Sorry, I'm gonna be doing that.
Oh, yes, I did. Okay. So, this one was supposed to be a shout out. No, I already did that, huh? Last week. The Father's Day one. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Did we go live?
That wasn't for Father's Day.
Okay.
We went live on Facebook.
Okay.
Also, we are sweating
was
our
that
butts
last
off.
week?
Sorry. That we went live? I think it was. Because Father's Day was last week. Yes. Absolutely. 1,000% sure.
So the lawn one I didn't, the pole?
I think you did that. I don't think you did that. I think you did that last week.
Okay, so I'm going to do it again. That's what I was trying to figure out. Sorry. Okay, so this one is shout out to your husband for being such a great father.
And an even better father to his yard.
Yes.
He's a great father to our kids,
He is
too.
a wonderful father to their kids. So it's next door story. It says, hashtag poll of the day. Poll. Should all neighbors be required to mow their lawn twice a week? Apparently, some people don't think it's important to keep their lawn up to reasonable standards like mowing or maybe pulling a few weeds. Maybe I'm just being a crazy woman, but I think we should take pride in our hood. I'll let you decide. 4% said yes, and 96% said no.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she got 4%.
I know.
It was probably like close friends and her husband, maybe.
Her husband, she's like, go on there and vote.
Go do this now.
Oh, sorry. And 582 people voted for that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So many people.
So many people.
Oh my, that was on the Nextdoor app?
That was on the
That's
Nextdoor.
why.
Yeah. So,
happy belated Father's Day.
Yes, happy belated Father's Day, and she would hate my yard.
That's okay.
That's okay. I live within the street, and I like to say that I'm renting. So.
And majority of your yard is a daycare anyway, so
100%.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to hear a spooky story?
I do.
Mike,
you just keep looking at it.
Is the mic working? Mike, are you ready for this?
We are here.
Come
and
on,
we're ready.
Mike. You got this. My microphone. Don't get scared of the story. Okay,
Oh, that's
so
good.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I never had it
You want
truly.
to try it?
Kind of, yes. Ooh, lemon tea.
Yeah.
Mmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I like swished it in my mouth. That's really yummy.
Yeah.
Does it have gluten in it?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Oh, if it's lemon tea, if it's truly seltzer, isn't it?
Gluten-free. Yeah.
What? Oh my god, I gotta get some of those. Okay, anyway.
First time I've tried it, sorry.
That's delicious. It's very refreshing.
Yeah.
So, first and foremost, we do not condone or encourage anyone to use the Ouija board.
Correct.
So just remember that. So I wanted to discuss all things Ouija board. This is episode 40, so I kind of want to do a little bit something bigger. So here's the history. So the Ouija board first started popping up in the late 1800s when spiritualism was starting to become popular in North America.
Okay.
And I guess it had already been like a thing in England or whatever, and we were kind of behind, but it wasn't unusual for people to start talking to spirits or ghosts or like past loved ones.
Yeah.
Why is that moving?
Oh, that's me kicking the cord. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. I'm so paranoid with this story.
Amy, stop kicking the cords.
So seances were big at parties through writing, like talking to spirits, having them write things, or table turning parties were a thing where participants would place their hands on a small table and just watch it start to shake, and they all would say like, "I'm not doing it." You know somebody's doing that. So fun fact, we have lots of fun facts.
Oh, I love fun facts.
It was acceptable for Christians to participate in these seances as long as it was on a Saturday night and as long as they attended church the next day. So kind of like cleansing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Christian church has such weird rules
I
sometimes.
don't know. They like stretch it. So like today's, they feature the alphabet, numbers 0 through 9, the words goodbye and yes and no, as well as a planchette with a viewing window.
Sure.
The idea of the board was to be used between at least 2 participants, 2 people. Just remember that, at least 2. During a seance, who would place their fingers on the planchette, and it would guide them along the board, spelling out the words and giving messages to the players.
Right.
Now, I bet you're wondering, where'd the word Ouija come from?
Right.
We could have totally just remembered that, and you could have just been like,
I know.
I should have remembered to have you do that.
I guess that just means that we're authentic.
Yeah, we actually don't remember anything about this story.
None of it's scripted. But yes, where does the Ouija board?
Such an unusual name.
And how is it spelled Ouija with a J?
Ouija.
Ouija.
It's definitely not an American word.
Definitely not.
No. An attorney / entrepreneur guy named Elijah Bond and his sister-in-law, who was a medium, named Helen Peters, were using a board because, like, it wasn't really sold. People would just kind of make their own boards and do this thing.
Yeah.
But they were using one of these said boards in the 1890s, and she had asked the board, what should they call it? And it spelled out Ouija. So they asked what it meant, and it said, good luck. Like, does that mean it means good luck, or does that mean, like, good luck?
Good luck.
So Bond decided to market this since no one had yet for whatever reason, and everybody was doing it. Genius. Now, to get the game patent, you had to prove that it actually worked. So he ended up bringing his sister-in-law with him to the patent office.
Okay.
The chief patent officer required a demonstration and said that if the board could accurately spell out his name, which no one supposedly knew, he would allow the application process to proceed.
Okay.
So they all sat down and did a seance, and sure enough, the board accurately spelled out his name. Now, was it the spirits giving them messages, or did this attorney guy like do some digging, and was he actually a smart attorney and was just like, I'm just gonna go find out everybody that I'm working with?
Yeah, he definitely did that.
You never know.
It's the latter.
Believe what you want to believe. So the game was patented, and it became such a hit that a businessman named William Fuld kind of took over things. He was the mastermind behind marketing. Fun fact, Mary Todd Lincoln, once our first lady, actually conducted seances in the White House after their 11-year-old son died of the fever in 1862.
Oh, that's really sad, but
kind of cool that she did that in the White House.
He's like, I bet
she talked to so many people.
Probably.
But, well, I guess there wasn't that many.
I mean,
he was only the, what was
18th.
it, 18th? Yeah, he was. Yeah, they
He's
only
like,
talked to like 14 or 18 more presidents.
Abe Lincoln's like, I'm gonna like go and end slavery, and she's like, hold on, let me go talk to the dead.
Let's go get some spirits going.
Yeah.
While I'm drinking my spirits. So it was marketed in national catalogs such as Sears, which I forgot to bring.
Oh yeah.
And I do have a Sears catalog from like 1902, which I brought last time, but I have it all written down what it is. So the Ouija board, the magic game, remarkable, interesting, and mystifying game. Great mirth and making game for parties. Apparently answers questions concerning past, present, and future. And again, this is what was written inside my 1902 edition Sears catalog,
Which she just has in her
I
closet,
just have in case I want to purchase a carriage or something, you know, or some arsenic.
An arsenic.
It was only $1, and the planchette was 40 cents, so it was $1.40. Now it's $24.99 on Amazon. The first game was sold in Pittsburgh in a Pittsburgh toy shop, and the rest is history. So, fun fact.
Okay.
The room that the birthplace of the name Ouija is now a 7-Eleven and actually has a plaque on the wall commemorating this event.
Oh.
I thought that was kind of fun.
I like that it's a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Like, it's nothing.
the Ouija board's like, hey, 7-Eleven, we're going to make gas 7-Eleven in the year 2022.
That's
There's bad juju there.
I just got your joke.
It's depressing.
I bet 7-Eleven's now wishing that they were still a gas station, not a convenience store.
God. They are a gas station too, aren't they?
I think they got rid of all their gas.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I think they're just a convenience store now.
Oh, well, I'm totally wrong.
But I bet they were like, dang it, we really could have marketed off of that.
They could have.
I don't know. Where I'm from.
I think they have them in Florida and on the East Coast. I feel like they do.
Oh, okay. They used to be all gas stations, but in California, where I'm from, it's
now they're
all
convenience stores.
It's just a convenience store now.
It's pretty convenient. So, with the Ouija board being so mysterious things started happening with people who had a hand in it.
Sure.
Helen Peters, the lady who had come up with the Ouija board name. So even though the board had been so popular and made such a profit, she did have like a stock in it, but she ended up wanting nothing to do with it.
I don't blame her.
She felt it had done damage to her family. I guess when some Civil War family relics or heirlooms went missing from her home, so she consulted the board, and it had said that a family member had taken them.
Oh.
So half the family believed it, and the other half said it was bullshit, including Helen. She was like, this thing is telling lies. It's just messing with our heads.
Yeah.
So this caused a lot of conflict that was unfortunately never resolved, and it tore the family apart.
Ooh.
Like over some like I get it, like it's a pretty big thing to go missing, but like really, blood's more important. After the fight, she sold all of her stock in the company, and until her dying day, she told everyone not to play the game because it tells lies. Okay, what if it was her?
Could be.
She stole all her stock. She sold all of her stock. Maybe she's lived off of the Civil War relics or whatever.
The heirlooms.
Heirlooms. They are spelled like heirlooms, though.
I know they are.
Okay.
Heirlooms. Fruit of heirlooms.
Now I'm never gonna get that out of my head.
Sorry.
Oh, the heat's making us delirious.
A little loopy.
So, William Fuld, he had some family drama of his own. In 1919, he cut his brother out of the business, and the two never spoke again. I guess at some point, the Ouija board had told him to prepare for big business. And throughout that year, sales boomed, making him over $1 million from the game. He was continuing to open up factories, and one of them was actually the largest building in Baltimore, 3 stories.
Whoa.
Big deal. The board told him to build this building, in fact.
Oh.
So in 1927, he went up to the roof of this building to supervise the replacement of a flagpole. He was standing near the edge of the roof, stupid, grasping an iron support of the pole to sturdy himself. Like, in my mind, he's just, like, leaning on the edge, like, grabbing the pole, like, okay, like,
how close are you
why are
getting
you
to
at
the
the edge
edge?
of the building holding on to something? Like, something's gonna happen. So,
maybe it's a very small roof.
I don't know.
Like, only fits one person.
Maybe, maybe that very well, but it's a factory, so I don't know. So he was standing near the edge of the roof, grasping the support, and then finally it broke loose. And one of the workmen saw it, and I guess he toppled over, fell off the building, and there you have it.
Well, maybe he shouldn't have.
But he didn't die.
Oh my gosh.
But wait, there's more.
I forgot about this part.
When falling, he grabbed hold of a windowsill that happened to be open, and then it happened to suddenly shut on his hands, so made him fall even more. And then he fell down and crashed to his fate.
So he died.
He did not die.
Oh my gosh. Because the window stopped him, huh?
So he apparently survived the fall with some broken ribs, and he was put into an ambulance, and halfway there they hit a bump and one of the ribs was sent into his heart, and he died officially.
Oh, imagine being killed by a pothole.
Yeah. Like, is this in Alaska?
This is in Alaska. Was it our front yard?
Yeah.
Our front road?
Is this our neighborhood? The game stayed in the family business until 1966 when they sold it to the Parker brothers, which it was eventually bought by Hasbro.
Wow.
Fun fact, description on Hasbro's site is enter the world of the mysterious and mystifying with the Ouija board. You've got questions and the spirit world has answers. And the uncanny Ouija board is your way to get them. What do you want to know? Ask your questions with a friend using the planchette that comes with the board. But be patient and concentrate because the spirits can't be rushed. And the last part is, handle the Ouija board with respect, and it won't disappoint you. It is for 8 years and up.
Oh, good. Alice can play it. Like, what the heck?
Congratulations, all the 8-year-olds out there.
Why are we letting
8-year-olds aren't
children
listening.
play with this thing?
Wait, my 4-year-old listens sometimes.
Yeah, Alice's friend listens to us.
Shout out.
Which I don't know how I feel about
Yeah.
it, but I'm not her parent.
It's good. It's good. So, interesting turn of events. The game remained a hit until 1973, but then the famous movie The Exorcist came to screen, and as you may remember, a Ouija board was actually used prior to the demons taking over the boy. And remember, like, with his Aunt Tilly and him played it.
Yeah.
Even though the movie was loosely based on Roland Doe's exorcism, this also played a part in the movies. So soon the Ouija boards and other spiritualism practices were stopped, and it was like the time of like obviously anti-Satanism, but like Satanism was just like a panic at this time. So
because he was coming.
He was coming. But everybody was terrified of Satan at this time, and they were just like, no, Ouija boards are bad.
Ouija boards are bad.
Don't do that. We don't talk to the devil.
We don't mess with that.
Them devil stuff. Fun fact, for the longest time, Elijah Bond's grave was unmarked and almost lost in history.
Aww.
A dedicated group of paranormal enthusiasts and some cemetery staff located the grave and arranged for a new stone commemorating him. The headstone, for it, is a Ouija board.
That is really cool.
It's a giant Ouija board. It's pretty awesome.
So is it a head, like the top, like it sticks out of the ground headstone, or is it one that's in...
No, it sticks out of the ground.
Oh my gosh.
It probably would have been bad if it was in the ground, because then people would like really play it. It says that no one has played it that they know of, so I don't know. I'm sure people have broken in and tried to play it.
Oh, I'm sure. Some punk kids.
Oh. And now we're going to talk about someone called Patience Worth. In 1913, a Corinne was a housewife in St. Louis with no out there interests in the supernatural or paranormal, just the occasional dabbling in the Ouija board.
Uh-huh.
Because it was the thing then.
Right.
One day while using it, it spelled out, she used it with a friend and it spelled out Many moons ago I lived. Again I come. Patience Worth is my name. And according to the spirit, she lived in Dorchester, England,
Okay.
in either 1649 or 1694. Patience spoke like she was from a different time, using words like thou and thee. After pushing for more information, the spirit said, "About me ye would know much. So, yesterday is dead. Let thy mind rest as to the past." So, Pearl began to communicate with Patience like, it's very poetic.
Yeah.
So she began to communicate with her like on a regular basis.
Uh-huh.
They were buds. And she communicated with her so much that she knew what she was saying in her head before like the words were being spelled out on the board.
Whoa.
So she would have someone like spell out the words and
Like a medium.
write them down. Yeah. And she would have someone like write them down, and she ended up getting like she ended up dedicating 25 years to this and got 400,000 words out. And through these, she got nearly 5,000 poems, a play, and lots of novels such as The Sorry Tale by Patience Worth.
Wow.
So, thought that was a little fun tidbit.
Yeah. No, Leon, don't mess with the chords.
Don't. Okay, it's still working. So, skeptic part of this, the Ouija board is considered by the scientific community to be the result of the ideal motor response to IMR, where the subject makes motions unconsciously called automatism or a hypnic jerk, which can be explained as your brain signaling your body to move without your conscious awareness.
Wow.
In the case of the Ouija board, your brain may create images and memories when you ask questions. Your body responds to your brain without you telling it to, so causing the muscles in your hands and arms to move the pointer to answers that you may want to receive unconsciously. There have been multiple scientific studies, but I'm not going to get too much into that because this is a paranormal story and we don't give a shit. So,
yeah.
Sorry.
This is not a science podcast.
Yeah, go tune into a science podcast.
Go
if you
listen
hear about
to
that.
Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
Or just don't.
Or don't and listen to us.
Yeah. So I found a couple stories on the internet.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you a couple of them. So this one says, we were hanging out in a friend's dorm room and busted out the Ouija board, as ones do. There were a few of us who had used them before and a few who hadn't. Were quite skeptical. It was about 11 p.m. and the communication with the board was going quite well. Gary, one of the skeptics, kept calling bullshit to the whole thing. We convinced him to sit on the floor with us and give it a shot. His first question is this for real or just a bunch of bullshit? The planchette zipped to no. Fine, he says, still not believing. Prove it. No sooner he had finished that statement, the lights in the room flickered and the building's fire alarm went off.
Oh my gosh.
This freaked us all out and we left the room to follow fire alarm procedures. After about 20 minutes, campus safety said it was a false alarm and to let us all back in the dorms. When we arrived back up to our friend's room, the Ouija board was gone. No one took it with us and the room was left locked.
What?
That's a fun little...
Where would it have gone? I don't like it.
It's mysterious.
Did it put itself away? That would be a well-behaved.
Oh, yeah. Very tidy.
Yeah.
Another one says, when I was around 12 or 14, one girl brought a Ouija board to my friend's birthday slumber party. Classic. I was pretty skeptical, but also really curious about it, as I never had used one before. We took turns asking questions, and I would just... figured someone else was moving the planchette. The other girls were pretty creeped out, but I wasn't until I answered a question for me that nobody else knows the answer to. To this day, I can't explain the answers appeared or any other paranormal experiences that have happened after we put the board away. I truly believe that we contacted something and it stuck around. There were just generally a lot of small things like footsteps above us when we were on the top floor. The door kept swinging open on its own, and the girl who lived there said it never did that on its own before. The creepiest part was that a bunch of us randomly wake up around 4 or 5 in the morning, and a few girls saw a black figure walking down on the street outside the window. Apparently, one of the girls had seen what they thought was the same figure with his face at the window on the second story.
Oh my
earlier
gosh,
that night.
no.
Yeah, no.
No.
That was from Cosmo.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all I have on those. So if we've piqued your curiosity and you somehow are not scared yet, first Google more Ouija board stories or TikTok them. I was looking at Ouija board stories through that Facebook group I went on, and they were like, just TikTok bad Ouija board experiences, and you're going to come up with gold. And I'm like, okay. So, yeah.
That's an easy rabbit hole to go down to.
If you're really dying to use one, here's how to use them. So, first, open the session however you feel. Just be respectful. Some like to use religion or their beliefs, and it's recommended to greet the spirits warmly, asking for only positive energy. In the Facebook group that I joined, they had suggested like meditating for an hour and staging and using like dragon blood incense, I believe. So that's,
or is it tiger blood?
I think it's dragon's blood. They said dragon's blood.
Oh, okay.
Maybe tiger blood is another one.
Oh, it's tiger blood. Never mind.
I don't know. I was confused by dragon's blood.
Just ignore me.
I was like, dragons aren't real, man. Okay, each player should place their index finger or middle finger lightly on the planchette, then slowly move it clockwise or in a figure 8 to kind of warm up the board.
Sure.
And it's important that there is only one spokesperson. While many can join in on this seance, one person should be asking the questions. It can become very confusing.
Right.
So, others can come up, like I said, with the questions, and the easiest way to start are yes or no questions. Also, be sure everyone in the room agrees with the questions and can remain comfortable throughout the session. And stop if someone becomes uncomfortable. Lastly, to close the session, make sure the planchette is physically moved to goodbye on the board. This is very important. Otherwise, you can leave something open, and I, don't recommend that.
Right.
I already said the part about saging and dragon's blood. So, yeah. Tips, most importantly, don't use it alone. Get rid of any distractions and kind of like set the mood. Make it dark and spooky in there.
Light as day. I'm going to do it outside in the field.
Turn off the radio. I would not want to do it outside in the field. That sounds awful.
With flowers and butterflies around?
Yeah, but outside in the middle. It sounds like in the middle of nowhere. It's like aliens gonna come abduct you or something.
That's true, yeah.
Turn off your phones and radio or TV, and just treat it as like they're your guests and you're not trying to be rude to them. It's not recommended to use the board in a graveyard. Just think of that as trying to talk to like 20 people and just have one conversation.
Gosh, could you imagine?
A bunch of people butting in, so it becomes annoying and confusing.
Yeah.
So how to properly dispose of a Ouija board. These are according to some of the sources that I found. So to just put it away and ignore it, be sure that the last session was closed properly, then wrap the planchette in a cloth to ensure there is no contact with the board, then put the board and planchette in a safe storage place where it won't be disturbed in your home.
Okay.
Like in your attic or basement.
Okay.
Creepy closet.
Yeah.
For majority of my sources, anything involving burning is a no-no. So we're just going to nix that.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Some people were like, oh, you can burn if you do this. I'm like, just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Many people believe that you should bury the board face down. Some even go as far as burying them in a consecrated ground. If you decide to take this option, wrap the board or planchette in a cloth to ensure they don't have contact with each other. Once the board is buried, cover the area with a large amount of salt, enough to completely cover the hole you dug, leaving no gaps or holes. The theory is that during the next rainfall, the salt will soak in and purify the ground and make sure there isn't it's not going to get blown away or anything. So
okay.
It's a good idea to do it right before a storm and resalt if you see any gaps appear.
Oh my gosh.
So like if you step in it, like throw some salt right there.
Ugh, it sounds like a lot of work.
It's too much work. So there's a theory that once a board is given to the new owner, the connection to the previous owner is broken. So before doing anything drastic, this is from the website that I found, with your spirit board, why not consider donating it to us? We'd be more than happy to take your Ouija boards to add to our collection. Please.
The website's saying that, not us.
Yes. Yes, not us. Do not send us your
us.
Ouija boards, please. We're sending them to this website. We will put it inside the description for the episode at some point.
Yeah.
Please wrap the board and planchette, if you still have it, separately from each other in bubble wrap or newspaper so they cannot make contact again. In addition of a note with your email address is appreciated so we can let you know once it has been successfully passed to us. We can post the address in our description, like I said. Again, guys, lastly, we do not encourage the use of Ouija boards. If you do, don't be dumb. Like, just be respectful while doing it. And you can either listen to my advice or look up really good rituals on, like, opening and using the Ouija board. Just don't be that idiot in the scary movie that's like, oh, this is bullshit. We're just going to throw it across the room. This isn't working. That's when everything bad happens.
Yeah, but if you guys do end up doing it, like, tell us about it.
Yes, tell us about it, please.
Yeah.
I would still play with one.
No.
If I was not in my own house.
I will never.
I will definitely.
I am so proud to say that is something I will not do.
10 out of 10 would not recommend.
Would not recommend. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
That was fun.
I'm sorry I kind of sped through it.
No, it's
very
good.
hot in here too.
It is very hot.
I'm like kind of like getting tired internally, and I'm like, don't.
I keep yawning. Well, I will tell you about Brian Denick then.
Okay.
About. Oh, sorry. I wanted to do this as an intro. Let's go. Don't wait. This night's almost over. Honest, we can't afford all the lyrics to that song. Na na na.
Forever.
Na, na, na.
And this song will last forever.
This song
and
will last forever.
You sang it better earlier. It was good. You're
good. We can't air it.
Oh.
That's why I said we can't afford the rest of the lyrics. Because otherwise we
know what song we're singing.
We have to buy the copyright for it. So I'm going to tell you.
Are you for real?
Mm-hmm.
I sing all the time.
Yeah, but it's not that much.
All right.
Like, if you're doing just like a like, no. But
okay.
If you buy a whole lot, if you do it a whole lot, you have to claim the rights.
If you're basically like kind of like singing over it.
Yeah.
Covering it.
I just watched. Oh, Rick and I were watching Somebody Feed Phil, and he was talking about the song "Don't Wanna Hold" by Aerosmith.
Yeah.
And he started singing, and he's like, "I can't afford the rest of that song." So, anyways. So
Steve Tyler's got a lot of money. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Brian Denick was born on March 9th, 1978 in Amarillo, Texas.
Amarillo by morning. Sorry.
Great, now we have to buy it. No, I'm just kidding.
Dang
it. To the parents of Michael and Elizabeth Denick. Brian attended Belmar Elementary School and was a member of the Boy Scouts group, where he was a dancer.
Oh, a dancer in the Boy Scouts?
Don't ask me. I
forgot about.
I forgot. I forgot to look it up.
I did not know that they let kids do that.
You know what? No judgment.
No, not at all. I think that's great.
I want to know more information.
Yeah.
And how do I sign up?
Yes.
When he went in high school, he ended up dropping out of school and decided to get his GED at 17 years old. And something that I thought was pretty cool was that he was an artist for the Stanley Marsh 3's art project for the Dynamite Museum, which basically they would take road signs and then like do a play on words like stop in the name of love, or things like that,
which is awesome because every time I see a stop sign I think of that.
Yeah, so it was just really cool, and then they would display them throughout the town.
That's right. Yeah, that's cool.
So I thought that was really cool that he would do that. He also was a vocalist for a punk rock group.
Sorry.
I forgot about this part. Called the White Slave Traders.
Oh, yeah. How can we forget about that part?
I don't know.
Oh, that's that. You
It
know
was
what?
the 80s.
It's a good thing it didn't make it, because they would have had to change their name, because that's
That is really bad.
What-
I mean, even
who
for
had
the
it-
80s, it was bad.
who
but
had to change their name? Dixie Chicks. They changed their name. They're just Chicks now.
Oh,
You know who Dixie Chicks are, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But the football team had to also.
Oh,
They were like
with
called
the
the
Indians
Redskins
or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
I don't really follow
Yeah,
football, but I remember seeing it in
yeah.
the news.
I've heard they make a lot of baskets, hoops.
Yep. They do that.
Football's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
His dream was always to be a famous punk rock musician. And Brian was a very charismatic and outgoing young individual. He was naturally a leader, so like he kind of was the one that like led the group and things that his group of friends. He was the one that like kind of made the decisions, like not because he was like a leader, but because they just kind of
Followed him.
Yeah, followed him. He would wear a lot of spiky jewelry, spiked jewelry.
Spiked.
Yeah.
Spiked.
Spiked jewelry,
I mean,
studded.
spiky's not bad.
Yeah, I know. He also had a spiked mohawk hairstyle,
Oh, that's cool.
which is really cool. And I remember telling you that my pastor had one, and he had colored his hair blue.
That's awesome.
So cool. He wore a black leather jacket, studded belt with a chain, and he also had a few homemade tattoos.
That's cool. Ooh.
Yeah. He was
Homemade. That's like
punk.
next level.
I know. So, although his parents didn't like his lifestyle because they were worried about how people would treat him, him and his parents still had to stop petting your cat.
Sorry.
Him and his parents, it's weird.
I know Josh has to tell me that all the time.
Oh! I said I didn't want a lot of edits. Although his parents didn't really like his lifestyle because of the way they were worried about the way people would treat him, they still had a healthy relationship. They loved him, and he would go over there for dinners and whatnot, and even bring his friends with him.
Aw.
Yeah, so his group of friends were pretty...
He was a good son.
He was a good boy, yeah. His group of friends were pretty respectful to the community. They would just hang out and... at the local IHOP, and skate around, and they had a place that they stayed together, and they all like shared it with a house.
That's cool.
They rented it. Was like a industrial building that turned into like houses or something like that.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it was like their
Crash pad. Oh,
yeah.
Jinx.
Jinxie Omi Coke. But the cops were not fans of them. They always looked for an excuse to harass the group. One time, Brian and his friends were spray painting graffiti on a wall that already had spray paint all over it. Is it full?
No, it's empty. My butt's just super slimy.
Oh, gross. Oh, no, I meant the trash can.
Oh, yes, it is. We'll take it out afterwards.
Okay. But the cops were not fans of them. They always would look for an excuse to harass the group. One time...
So sorry.
Brian and his friends were spray painting graffiti on a wall that already had graffiti on it.
No big?
Huh?
No big?
Yeah, and the cops were like, no. So they chased them all the way back to their crash pad. And the cops sat at the door, waited for everyone to come out. They were like, come out. And they were like, we're not coming out. And they're like, you're coming out. And they're like, no. And they ended up breaking down the door and manhandling Brian and his friends, shoving them to the ground or up against the wall. And one of them even threatened to sexually assault one of the females.
That is so excessive.
I know. And when she yelled at him to get his hands off of her, he put a gun into her mouth and threatened to kill her. Yeah. and it's just bad.
Wow.
All of them were arrested on charges for the charge of underage drinking.
Okay, big deal.
Yeah. After being released, Brian and his girlfriend, which I couldn't find her name, but I thought this was just a little fun thing to add. They adopted a little puppy named Stout.
That's cute.
It is cute. There was also a rival between the punk group and the clean-cut jocks of Amarillo. They literally couldn't. Yeah. They literally couldn't go anywhere without starting a fight. Like, they would, like, be in the IHOP, and they'd be on opposite sides of the restaurant, and they'd, like, be flipping each other off.
Like West Side Story.
Yeah, yelling profanity at each other, and just awful things. They were punks.
Punks.
The jocks, though, would get away with everything. They would have, like, huge bonfires, and, like, never would have the cops called on. And the few times that they did have the cops called on them, they the cops would be like, settle down and go home, sort of thing. And one of the leaders at a party, Dustin Camp, was addressed by a friend and asked if they should shut down the party, or one of the parties that they're having, because it was getting too big. And he literally said, "No, we run this town." So
that's cocky.
Yeah. Yep. The
cop said that?
No, Dustin Camp did.
That's annoying.
Yeah, he literally.
What a douche.
He knew that the cops wouldn't do anything because they're of money, and they're
probably
jocks.
have family, and
they probably have family members on the force. So
they donate to the Christmas calendar every year.
Exactly, yeah. So they were very arrogant and self-absorbed. On December 6, 1997, John King, one of Brian's friends, was down at IHOP. And Dustin Camp was driving by when he saw John outside in the parking lot. So Dustin jumped the median in his Cadillac, attempting to run John over. He missed, but John King had a police baton and smashed the windows of the Cadillac.
Oh.
Which I would too, so you try to run me over. Dustin Camp then got out, and with the help of his crew, beat John up, knocking him to the ground and kicking him repeatedly.
It's good still.
And there was at least a dozen young men kicking this poor guy. That's
so messed up. That's not fair.
No, it's not. This really struck a chord with the punk group, and the tension between the two groups was at an all-time high. 6 days later, on December 12th, 1997, the jock group was drinking pretty heavily, and they went to the Western Plaza shopping center at 11 p.m. They were anticipating this fight between them and the punk group. Brian and his friends arrived with chains and pipes to help defend themselves.
Damn.
I know. They weren't messing around.
No.
They're also all scrawny and
Aw.
There wasn't a lot of them.
They're just getting what they had.
Yeah. They probably lived off of Hot Pockets and energy drinks. So
hey, that is a great diet. That is champions.
Yep. Breakfast of champions right there. They like I said, there was a dozen of Dustin's friends, and there was hardly any. There was 5 or 6 of the punk group. So they were definitely outnumbered, but that didn't stop the punk group from putting up a fight. During the fight, Dustin and his 2 friends returned to his Cadillac to take off. As he was leaving, though, he made a sharp turn and pointed the vehicle straight at Brian, who was running away from the fight. He stopped for a second and then said, "I'm a ninja in my caddy."
Is that reported that he actually said that?
Yes, he literally said that.
Wow, you're cool, dude.
Yeah.
You're there. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
You're not a ninja if you have something.
One of the girls
ninjas
in
have
the room,
stars.
Yes.
They're way cooler.
One of the girls in the car, she testified and said that he said that.
Oh, there was someone in there with him.
Yeah, 2 of his friends.
Oh, okay.
So he then accelerated the vehicle and ran over Brian.
And he was running away from the fight too.
Yep. Yeah. Dustin then said, "I bet he liked that one." After he ran over Brian, he sped away and fled the scene. And it's not like he just like hit him and like kind of turned the whole vehicle ran him over.
That's messed up.
Yeah. Like you didn't stop or anything, dude. Brian was killed instantly.
Aww.
Dustin was arrested for first-degree murder. During the trial, his defense argued he was acting in defense of a friend who Brian was attacking. But his friends, Dustin's friends, who were in the vehicle testified and denied those claims, that there was no one
that he was helping.
Yeah, he wasn't.
They knew he
anyone.
went too far.
Yeah. The attorney also shifted the blame onto the punk community, claiming that they were violent and multiple police complaints against them.
Oh, of course, because of the way they look and with the things that they're into.
Yep. The noise complaints to arrests for underage drinking, which shocking. The attorney basically tore Brian's character apart, which is devastating for that family.
Yeah.
Claiming he was the aggressor that night. He also painted Dustin as a model citizen of Texas.
Ew.
He was a good Christian boy, clean cut and star football player. And begged the jury to give Dustin a second chance at life because he had such a bright future ahead of him. Which is, but you made a bad choice.
Yeah.
And something I didn't say.
It's garbage.
Yeah, something I didn't say, but in my notes was, I read a testimony from one of the jurors that, never mind, I say that later. But one of the passengers in the Cadillac said she didn't see a victim Brian was attacking, like I said, and Dustin was not attempting to defend anyone.
Straight answer right there.
Yep. Unfortunately, the jury did not find Dustin guilty of first-degree murder and only found him guilty of voluntary manslaughter and sentenced him to 10 years probation.
That's the same thing. That's murder. Voluntary. Like, meaning, like, you knew what you were doing.
You knew what you were doing. And manslaughter means that involuntary manslaughter means that you didn't mean to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was an accident. Like, you accidentally hit someone because you were driving on the road and
but
jaywalked.
manslaughter is like, I'm going to take that out. I don't remember. Yeah. So, did I tell you he also got a $10,000 per fine? Yeah, $10,000.
Who did?
Dustin.
Dustin?
Yeah.
For hitting someone?
For killing
for
someone.
killing someone? For taking someone's kids away?
Yeah.
Or kid away?
$10,000.
Wow. I bet his mom and daddy didn't have any problem paying that.
Oh, yeah. In June of 2001, Dustin violated his probation by drinking underage. And his daddy...
He drank underage?
He did.
That's illegal? Oh my gosh, that is the most worst crime of crimes.
I know. But his daddy tried to cover it up, saying that it was his alcohol. And...
Fingerprint it. Get CSI out here, guys.
No kidding. The dad was charged with making false statements to police and was sentenced to 60 days of probation with a $100 fine.
$100,
dude.
Like, that just dawned on me. Like, what?
For lying. Yeah. So Dustin's brother
on a murder case.
I know. Well,
or involving.
technically,
Yeah, I know, but still, like protecting someone.
Yeah. So Dustin's brother was also arrested for providing alcohol to minors and was sentenced to 1 year probation. Brian's death shook the punk community. And the outcome of the trial made them very angry, claiming Dustin was given the sentence he got because he was white privileged, a white privileged kid that came from wealth. The trial also got a lot of media attention. 2020 did a piece on it, NPR reported on it, and MTV had a documentary called Criminal, Punked vs. Preps. In 2000, Maylin Manson discussed the case at the Desfino conference addressing the causes of young youth violence. There have also been multiple tributes to Brian Dennick. In 2000, the Unity Through Diversity Festival was held in Amarillo, featuring the Undead and Mike Watt, amongst other bands. The 10th anniversary of his death demonstrated the ongoing significance of his death to the punk community, with 25 concerts being held on December 8th, 2007 across the United States and Canada, including concerts in New York, Chicago, Seattle, and 5 concerts across Texas, including a 2-day event in Amarillo.
Dang.
Half of the money raised by these events went to the National Organization for Parents of Murdered Children.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
really
love
like
that. That's really cool.
Yeah. The other half to various anti-prejudice causes. The memorial concert stated aims were: Brian was only 19 years old when he succumbed to violent death due to prejudice and ignorance. The memorial events will donate our profits to charities that fight hate crimes. Brian's existence will continue to inspire others. And there is a list of songs written about Brian. And I'm going to tell you them. Brian's Song by 15. Brian's Song by The Code. Tears on a Pillow in Amarillo by The Undead. Fortunes of War by Dropkick Murphys. Sunshine Fist Magnets by Against All Authority. A Punk Killed and Murdered by Total Chaos. American Justice is All a Lie by Career Soldiers. Sunshine by The Swellers. Hill by Hamill on Trial. Brian Dennick by Christopher Owens. And Punk Song by Lambed.
That's cool.
Yeah. And a play about Dennick's case, Manslaughter by David Bushi, was performed at the Annex Theater, Seattle in 2000. And a film about Brian Dennick's short life has been made called Bomb City, named after Amarillo's nickname as a nuclear weapons disassembly site.
Dang. That's
And,
cool.
Yeah.
He was not forgotten.
He was not
Still
forgotten.
isn't.
And the punk community definitely does not let people forget about him.
That's good.
Yeah. So that's Brian Dennick and the very tragic story of his
poor family.
I know.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
That is really cool, though, that he wasn't forgotten.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
like
awesome.
a lot of famous bands were just like, no, we're going to bring awareness to this. So
Yeah.
that was awesome. Can you tell me a neighborhood story?
Yes, I can. All right. So.
Alice is asleep.
That's so weird. I know. We just. Glad we put people to sleep.
You guys.
Do you have a pony on you?
No, but I can get one. After we. Is
Yep.
it okay?
Yeah.
You guys are. My daughter's in here listening to us record, and apparently we
put her to
we
sleep.
put her to sleep.
And she's not like a 2-year-old who would just
No.
fall asleep.
She's almost 9
She's
years
almost
old,
9.
and she was playing on her phone. So
She's asleep. Is she legit still asleep?
yeah, she's. Or maybe it's because murder and
We just have soothing voices.
maybe that's what it is.
Go to sleep.
This is our good night
Go
podcast.
to sleep.
You know,
If
they
you're
say
listening
that
to
a
us while
lot-
You're going to bed.
You
Good
know,
night.
those women that listen to true crime podcasts and documentaries to fall asleep.
I hope we don't haunt your dreams.
And maybe she is a baby. I'm dubbing it right now. A baby.
True crimer.
No, baby. Yeah.
Baby true crimer.
I was trying to think of like our
True crime
followers' name,
fanatic.
but
A baby neighbor.
a baby neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah, neighbor.
Baby neighbor.
All right, so this one says, Dear sorority girls next door, I saw your boobs. They don't help me study. Please,
don't look.
please close your blinds when you're trying on skanky underwear.
Skanky. Listen here, bud.
Listen, all underwear in some form is kind of like it's
yeah,
underwear.
It's underwear.
You don't wear it outside, even
It's
though
not
it looks just like a
outerwear.
swimsuit.
Yeah.
I
But-
don't ever understand that.
Listen, just don't look.
Yeah,
Close
just-
your blinds.
Although in his defense, like if I saw and I'm a girl, I'm into men,
yeah,
and if I saw a girl
in
with
underwear
the boobies out or
Oh,
something,
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
be like, whoa, what? That's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
it's like something that's not supposed to. It's like a Where's Waldo? Like,
Yes.
oh, there's Waldo.
yeah.
There's boobs.
No, totally. I would have looked too. Yeah.
Oh,
Can we, before we end this, do we need to talk about, let's talk about, photography.
Oh, you guys.
We just put out our photo shoot of with Red
Yes.
Photography, guys.
Oh my gosh, she did so good.
And I want to tell you guys that, oops, sorry. I was reminded of it because I just said boobs. That's weird.
Alice. Dang it.
Where is it?
It's her phone.
Yeah, I know. I said, where is it?
It's in
Oh.
her hand.
Aw. Just click the side of it.
Alice. Your phone's ringing.
It's because it's warm in here, I'm telling you. It's so warm in here. It's probably like
And she's wearing pants.
80 degrees in here. Yeah, I know. She's wearing black pants.
Just lay down.
Aw. And anyway, what sparked my memory is because I said boobs. And
Oh yeah.
she is one of those photographers that will naturally make you laugh. I have a
Yes.
terrible normal smile if I
Yeah.
force it, but it comes out nicely if I'm forced to laugh. And she kept on saying things like boobs and penis, and just she won't say that if you have kids there,
No,
obviously.
no.
But
She
my
would-
point is, she will go to extra levels to make you laugh and get a good smile out of you.
Well, let me just go off of that. Is she knows her clients? She gets to
Yes.
know them so
Yeah.
that she knows how to.
She listens to the show.
Yeah, but she knows how to make them laugh.
Yeah.
So
She kind of knows us.
Yeah.
So she did a great job. Jamie with Red Photography.
she did a fantastic job.
Our pictures turned out awesome.
my
We're so
gosh.
excited.
So if you're local, please check her out. Her link to her website is on our website or on our webpage
Yeah.
under promotions because
Yep.
she is so good.
Yep.
Hands down, best photographer ever. I'm gonna
Red
be
Photography.
Red Photography.
So we're gonna get going.
Yeah, it's so hot here.
Yeah, if we still have another episode.
Oh my god.
To listen, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you want to find us. We're pretty much everywhere. Google it. Please rate and review us. That really helps. It's really appreciated. Also, be sure to follow us on TikTok. It's so hot in here. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. On Facebook, we do have a Facebook group, which we're really active in. So please sign up. Sometimes we have special deals and
Seals.
contests going on. Sometimes we have special things going on where you can win things. So join that, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
On our website is what'swiththeneighbors.com.
And on there, you can find everything that she just talked about, including a link to our merchandise. We have magnets and shirts, and along with a link to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/WWTN podcast.
Choo choo.
If you want to be on the donor bus, it's either you're way too early or way too late.
Choo choo. I was ready.
$5 a month gets you exclusive content and our episodes unedited. And for $3 a month, you get exclusive content and the episode early. Feel free to slide into our DMs with any questions, comments, or story suggestions at wwtnpodcast@gmail.com. And have you checked in on the neighbors?
What's with the neighbors?
Bring
Amy
Amy out. We have that memorized.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping we could get through it.
That was pretty good.
This is our final test.
Hold on. Tell your cats tell your cats I said hi.
Meow.
We said hi.